Well, hello on this beautiful day. It's a nice day here. You might hear the sprinklers in the background. They're going off. And so I wanted to come outside, enjoy the beautiful day with you, and read a book. So the first book I'm going to read to you is Fancy Nancy. And I do so enjoy Fancy Nancy. And this is written by Jane O'Connor, illustrated by Robin Press Glasser. Okay, here we go. Fancy Nancy. Oh, isn't she fancy? This is especially for my granddaughters, who also enjoy Fancy Nancy. Oh, there's her bedroom. Let's see, this is my room before I made it fancy. Okay, so this is Nancy. And her room is all clean. It looks nice. She's got a little doll with a doll bed. She's got some shelves for her books and her stuffed animals, some of her toys. Nice, neat dresser and a mirror. Her bed's all made. It's got some curtains. Okay, let's see what she does. Wonder what's going to happen next. Oh, wow. She certainly did make it fancy. She says, I love being fancy. Yes, she does. Okay, let's look and see what she added. Well, she added some fancy posters on the wall of ladies all dressed in fancy attire. That's another word for clothes. She's got some dress-up clothes filling up her little chest there. She added some fancy pillows and some flowers on her headboard. That's the part at the top of her bed. She put a canopy. Looks like she used maybe some sheets or something to go over her bed. That's what you call something, a material over a bed is called a canopy. And let's say at the foot of her bed, she put her name, Nancy, and some flowers. She didn't fancy up her doll bed, I don't think. Although it looks like her bed kind of matches her doll bed now a little bit, huh? Same kind of colors. Okay, looks like she got a rack, or maybe people call it a hat rack or a coat rack. She has a hat up at the top and some other hats and some of her purses hanging down below. Maybe some necklaces and bracelets. She's got some feathers at the top of her bedpost. And at her shelves, she put a doll up at the top, and she strung what looks like maybe some Christmas ornaments above it. Let's see what's going on with her dresser area. Looks like she maybe either painted the flowers on her dresser or got some stickers and put them on. She put some fancy things on top of her dresser, a crown, a golden bowl with more things in it. And then she took her mirror and she put some ruffles around the mirror and some Christmas lights going across it. I don't know that I'd put Christmas lights across it because it would make it hard to use then, huh? But that's what she did. And then she took some ruffly things, feathers maybe, and put them around her door. Oh, that is fancy. It's a little windy here today. She likes her room. I can tell by looking at her. The expression on her face. She likes what she did to her room. Very fancy. Okay, let's see what's going to happen next in the book. My favorite color is fuchsia. That's a fancy way of saying purple. And you can kind of tell she wears a lot of that color, doesn't she? Looks like her hair's even that color. I like to write my name with a pin that has a plume. Here's her pin with a plume. That's a fancy way of saying feather. And I can't wait to learn French because everything in French sounds fancy. Well, I don't know French, so I can't really say any French to you. Nobody in my family is fancy at all. They never even ask for sprinkles on their ice cream. See, their ice cream, they're just plain ice cream, no sprinkles, but they are enjoying it. Oh, looks like our little sister ice cream's about ready to fall, huh? Wow, look at her ice cream. She's got all kinds of stuff on her ice cream. Looks like she's got the super duper scooper, which is something new. Okay. I do like ice cream. I have ice cream almost every night for dessert. Chocolate ice cream is the best, especially if it's got peanut butter inside. Okay, on with our story. There's a lot they don't understand. She's talking about her family. Lace-trimmed socks do help me to play soccer better. There's her lace-trimmed socks. She's going to soccer practice. Her mom's not too sure about that. Sandwiches definitely taste better when you stick in frilly toothpicks. Oh, yes. Look at those sandwiches. She did put in frilly toothpicks, huh? Her dad just smiles at her. A princess is supposed to keep her tiara on. So the tiara is what she has on her head. Kind of looks like a little crown sometimes. Looks like her little sister is not too happy to wear it though. She's got some tape out. Maybe she's going to tape it to her sister's head. Oh, she did tape it to her sister's head. Oh, that's funny. Her little sister doesn't think it's too funny, though. What's a fancy girl to do? I asked my doll, Maribel. Her full name is Maribel Lavina Chandelier. Oh, that's a fancy name, isn't it? Yes, she has her tiara on, too, with her name on it. Nancy has her name on her tiara also. Okay. Then I got an idea that is stupendous. That's a fancy word for great. Well, let's see. She's looking at a wall that has Employee of the Month at the top. Then it has like a bulletin board with all kinds of things on it. Ready to rumble. You can take ballroom dancing lessons. You can take private tuba lessons. Swim with the dolphins. Learn macrame. Take yoga. Someone's willing to babysit. Horseback riding, all kinds of lessons. I wonder what her idea is. What do you think her idea is? Let's find out. Aha! Learn to be fancy with lessons from Nancy. Start today. Easy, fun, free. Maybe I can teach my family how to be fancy. I make an ad and stick it on the refrigerator. Yes, she did. Of course, it's probably cold where she's standing inside the refrigerator. Okay, let's see what her family thinks about that. Oh, looks like they're going to take the lessons. Soon there is a knock on my door. My family saw the ad. They want to get started right away. Oh, she has all kinds of things to share. So she's showing the difference between colors. Like yellow is a plain color, but gold is a fancy color. Leather is a plain material. Patent leather is more fancy. Glasses can be plain, but sunglasses can be fancy. And she shows some examples down here. She shows a doll that's plain and a doll that's fancy. She shows shoes that are plain and shoes that are fancy. She shows a plain hat and a fancy hat. Oh my, that is a fancy hat, isn't it? And then over here, she has labeled fancy stuff. And she has all of these things, purses and bracelets and necklaces, hats, all there. Looks like her family's paying close attention. At least it looks like Dad's taking notes, Mom's taking notes and listening very carefully. She even has a fancy pen she's using. The trouble is, my family doesn't own any fancy clothes. Well, they do look kind of plain. That's okay. I go find. What is that fancy word? Oh, yes. Some accessories. Oh, wow. She sure has lots of accessories. Bag of bows, Christmas ornaments, silk flowers, tinsel, beads, baubles, hair stuff. She has them all labeled. That's very organized. Magic for kids. Ooh la la! My family is posh. That's a fancy word for fancy. Looks like she dressed her mom all up, and her sister got all dressed up too. My mom twirls in front of the mirror. Why don't we go somewhere fancy tonight? Oh, looks like Dad got dressed up too. How about dinner at the King's Crown? Dad suggested. Wow! My parents are acting fancier already. Nancy is so excited. Look how high she leaped. May I escort you lovely ladies outside? The limousine is waiting. My dad is our chauffeur. That's a fancy word for driver. Oh, look at them entering the restaurant. They're making quite a splash. When we arrive at the King's Crown, everyone looks up. They probably think we're movie stars. Looks like King's Crown is a pizza place. I am so proud of my whole family. They eat with their pinkies up and call each other darling. That little girl thinks it's funny. Boy, Mom's hat's pretty fancy, isn't it? Yeah. Looks like Nancy's wearing wings. For dessert, let's have parfaits, my mom says. That's French for ice cream sundaes. Amazing. My mother knows French. I think she likes that idea. When our parfaits are ready, I curtsy and say, merci. Oh, look at that. That looks like a huge amount of dessert. Oh, I think that boy over there wants some of that dessert. I carry the tray like a fancy waiter. Uh-oh. Oops. I trip. I slip. Oh dear. What do you think is going to happen? Let's find out. Oh no! The tray does a double flip. Oh dear. And everybody sees it happen. Poor Nancy. She tripped on her shoes. I don't feel fancy anymore. She looks like she got it all on herself too. Poor Nancy. I want to go home. Yeah, that's what happens when we fall in front of people. We get embarrassed and we just want to go home. After I get all cleaned up, I put on my dressing gown. Those are fancy words for bathrobe. I feel much better. I'm ready for a parfait. Little Sissy's giving her a hug. That was nice. I tell my parents, thank you for being fancy tonight. Oh, they decided to have the ice cream at home with all kinds of stuff to put on top. Chocolate, whipped cream. Looks yummy. I love you, my dad says. I love you, my mom says. And all I say back is, I love you. Because there isn't a fancy or better way of saying that. And everything was fine. She got over the spill. And that is Fancy Nancy. I hope you enjoyed that story as much as I did, especially my granddaughters. Okay, have a great day. Goodbye.